Today, I want to discuss the article You Are Beautiful. So, I wrote this article after I read one report where someone in a first world country who was maybe some millionaire or multimillionaire or maybe a billionaire. I don't remember the exact financial status of this person, but he's very somebody very rich, somebody very well to do, and had the yacht, had the plane, had a nice house, lives in a beautiful rich country. And then the news was that his wife was pregnant and he committed suicide. I just couldn't believe the report that how does someone, when you're supposed to be truly be very very happy because you are with someone you love and your wife is pregnant and you are rich, you have a very easy breezy good life, how do you commit suicide? And then someone said in his note, suicide note, he had written, life is too easy. I just couldn't believe it. See, there is one part of this world which is working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they are working 8 to 10 hours a day just to make a living. And yet they have nothing coming their way in terms of good life. There is one part of the world which is dying, saying, life is too tough. And here was one person who had committed suicide, saying life is too easy when he's surrounded with all the happiness and bliss. When I wrote this article, I'm also reflecting on my life and how tough my life is, and how no matter how much I did, I never found any financial stability because there's always something or the other playing a spoil sport. It's either the people, the environment, or just how the whole setup of the system is. So I talk about that in the article. And I have asked few questions at the end of the article. So one of the question I've asked is, what can you tell about my life after reading the article? So after reading the article, you can tell with every section I am going on elaborating more and more and sharing how I'm getting more and more gifted with all the how much work I have to do just to make the ends meet or make a certain living. So when I ask the question, what do you think, what does it tell you about my life? It's just getting increasingly every day more and more painful because there's just so much more and more I have to do. You know, if you've been watching my channel, Tarot Bloom, I do this spirituality section every Wednesday. But you should also watch every Tuesday. I talk about instances and everything about my work life on my other channel, Purple on Art. I will take an example now. Why the life is getting more and more tougher for absolutely sane, hardworking people. It is how the money is moving. In India, the social structure is 60% of Indian population is below poverty line. And this 60% which is below poverty line is not just poor, but this is a generational poor who are getting added into the society. They don't have a emotional and mental fabric of a healthy mind and emotions. You know, Increasingly, when I was working in ICICI Bank, so I always keep taking examples of organizations I've worked in, but it's not out of prejudice, it's just about sharing experiences. But this is also happening all across in other organizations as well. The more and more people I met and spoke to, they're all coming from very poor, unhealthy, emotional, and mental backgrounds. They almost felt like slum class to me. And this was not just the case with ICICI Bank, this was also with American Express cards when I was working in, before that. Increasingly, the fabric of Indian society has become poor to very, very poor. And you can't teach manners and good vibe to them because they are forever scouting to how much more they can take from you or from the system. So they'll even take what is not theirs and deny it to someone to whom it belongs. So you can check my other vlogs on Purple on Art and where I'm talking about my work experience. So, when I say the life keeps getting tough and tough, it's how the money is moving. Increasingly, people who understand less, know less, have truckloads of money. So, if you have to tell them smallest of things, you have to sit and explain it to them for maybe few hours or every time. That's the amount of effort you need to put to get certain thing done or make the other person understand. I want a royalty money to stop. There are people who earn royalties over TV programs, musics, this, that. I want it all to stop, or it to come down to a point where everybody takes home a median salary world over, and after that, your royalty business stops. Because there's no point of having super duper rich who are then committing suicide saying life is too easy. Now, I will come down to something more about the article. I'm talking about certain dreams and visions and then what is happening. I talk about dreams and visions and work ethic. So, one of the things I share is that this universe is rewarding me for my work ethic, that I get it right the first time, because I practice this work ethic of getting it right the first time, and I'm now getting rewarded through my artwork that I get it right the first time. Then I talk about some other work ethic also, where I'm saying that I work with as much information and I stay true to the information, and then I pullate events, and therefore I have heightened intuition, because I am not moving things, or I am not trying to believe what is not true. I am listening and believing the information that is coming to me. So, there's another work ethic that I have, and because of which I have become a psychic. And that work ethic always was, I will go and tell the person beforehand. I will not wait for person to get ruined or make a mistake and then say, oh, it was like this, it was like that. I truly work to help people and warn them or tell them beforehand. And that is the reason why I'm being gifted as a psychic, where now I get a warning or get told beforehand about things. So, in the end of the day, this universe is a certain magnetic and electric field which is building up a certain reward and punishment for you, and will help you ascend spiritually by working on who you are as a person. So, continuing with the example where I said there is a God, Satan, and the universe. The reason I say God, Satan, and universe is God is the entity who's good and tells you to be good and do what is right. And Satan is someone who's turned bad and controls a lot of money. See, increasingly, the world's rich are starting to control all the wealth, and good part of the world are fighting to make a living. If you read this article, despite working, people are not saving, not making any money, and cannot go traveling. So, poverty seems to be a mainstay for everybody. So, wherever you go, increasingly people are all poor. So, I am asking these questions to myself, that one part of the world is so rich that they have inherited or they have got billions coming to them by maybe some gig or through inheritance, whichever way they made their truckloads of money. And if they say it, things start to happen and shape up because they're so big and rich. And then this person who's in love and has a very beautiful, gorgeous wife who's pregnant, he commits suicide saying that life is too easy. So, when I read this report, it disturbed me a great deal. And all I kept saying, I'm still saying, is nobody in this world should be so rich. The rich cannot control so much money. And then there are people who are very poor and they are saying life is too tough and are dying or committing suicide. This article was written on 30th November or published by me on 30th of November 2019. And the person I'm talking about, which I've written also, that who's going to commit suicide, and that man has committed suicide. The rich person with the beautiful gorgeous wife who's pregnant, he committed suicide saying life is too easy before this article is published. And he's the reference point on which I've written this article. After this article was published, almost as if this universe wanted to send a test, Corona walked in. And Corona was like a wave or like a air which is moving everywhere, and everybody in this world got a hit from Corona. So people who were very rich but with bad bodies died, and people who are very poor and could not afford a certain treatment also died. So people with fit bodies and money survived. So one, and it also made the world very poor. There is a learning to be made here. It's not okay to keep on reproducing or having children with a very bad gene pool. And it's also not okay to be excessively poor and continue to also keep reproducing. This world needs to correct the gene pool. This article graduates to what an administrator needs to do, and why the people at the absolute top end and who are saying life is too easy and are committing suicide will stop doing so, and people who are at the absolute lower end and saying life is too tough will also stop doing so when you have corrected the gene pool. So this was the nemesis for writing the article, where I want the world's wealth to trickle down and the poor to be not so poor and rich to be not so rich. I want to end the article, discussing the article here. But I will tell you something. There's always a distressing news that I keep watching or listening. There was recently this news that the ex CEO of Microsoft will be taking home a cool 1 billion in dividends or something, or as a payout of some sort. 1 billion USD, just like that. At one point, Elon Musk said, in a day, I make some 100,000 USD. And then he says, it's not much. All I want to say is, administrator should get to work. You can check another article called Administrator Series in the description box.